Lindsay, I have the guy I want to take over the Pistons, and maybe a little bit prejudiced, but I know the guy pretty well. I think he would identify with the younger players. Former Piston, Jerry Stackhouse.
Stack.
I always believe in him because he has, he's not demonstrative. He just tells you what's up. And Jerry, man, like he's got that sleepy-eyed look, and he would wake up in the morning and say, all right, fellas, this is what we're going to do today. We playing Orlando. We better than them. We're going to bust their ass. I mean, he would just be direct like that.
Well, Stack is an awesome coach. He's doing a great job. We talk quite often, talk a lot. Because I asked him last year, I said, man, would you be interested in coaching in the league? Because I think it was Charlotte job was open, Laker job was open, a couple other jobs open. And his answer to me was, why would I do that? He was like, yeah, he loved his situation.
Right.
And that's what it comes down to with a lot of these guys, especially you got a good situation in college, man. You're going to come to
but he's at Vanderbilt. Not exactly a basketball power.
No, but he's bringing it back. At one time it was Vandy was, in the tournament every year. They were competing, and he's bringing it back to relevance. So he likes that right now. Now some other names that I've heard, Mark Jackson, which I think is very intriguing because and I'm a little biased on Coach Jackson because I was his assistant at Golden State.
Oh, it's interesting.
So and I watched the development and I watched how he dealt with those young guys, and he was absolutely great at it. He's great with associating with players. He's great at talking to them. He was great. I think he would be a awesome guy to consider.
Why didn't Mark Jackson work out at Golden State?
Man, I don't know. There's a lot of things that happened behind the scenes that I think contributed to him not staying. But that's the West Coast. That's San Francisco, a little different than a city like Detroit. I think because he's a New York guy, so I think Midwest would be great for him. And I think he can develop young talent. Now, there are some other names, Udoka. He did an excellent job with Boston. We all saw that. Now, his off-the-court problems and stuff, I don't know if that'll...
Well, let's visit that. Did he do an excellent job at Boston, or is Boston so talented that you can't keep them out of the NBA Finals?
Well, I'm going to give him credit like they give all the rest of them credit.
Okay.
Whether or not it was any doing of his or not, they got that talent. They acquired that talent, and he got them to the finals, right? So, he deserves to be mentioned with, young, good, really good coaches. What other names did I hear? The guy who's an assistant at Golden State. I can't think of his name. Yeah, but leave him out there because we don't have any shooters like that, so he wouldn't work here.
Yeah, he tried to get Cade Cunningham to put up 43s a game. That's not going to work.
Look, I think we saw how great Golden State was when they let who took over. A couple of coaches took over for a while, and they didn't miss a beat. And those, some of those coaches went on to coach other places and didn't get the job.
Walton.
Bingo. I think Luke Walton was like 30-0 when he coached the Warriors. And everybody was like, oh, he's doing such a great job. And I'm like, dude, we can get a baby to sit over there with a suit on and they could coach the Warriors right now. They're on autopilot, So, coaches.
Or you get Steph Curry to you don't set up plays to set up Steph Curry to shoot from the logo. It just happens.
Right.
You guys, some team that's not on autopilot right now, and me and Matt were talking about this earlier. Matt, why don't you take it away for me?
Yeah, we want to transition to the Lions, and I was thinking from the coaching perspective, what can the Pistons organization learn from Sheila Hamp's decision to go out and get a guy like Dan Campbell, to go out and build their team with whether it's younger coaches or coaches that formerly played in the league? How can the Pistons learn from that as they continue to build their franchise?
They can't. I don't think you can have a coach like Dan Campbell in the NBA.
Okay.
He would burn out too quickly. Dan Campbell would be like Doug Collins in the NBA. He kept having to switch around. Doug Collins, I'm convinced, should have been Phil Jackson. He had Michael Jordan first, but he couldn't control his emotions. When you are going out 82 games a year, you can't have that Phil Jackson mentality. Other people tried to do. Rick Pitino was like that. They tried to do that. He couldn't sustain it. And the players are going to get sick and tired of you quicker. The advantage Dan Campbell has, he's going 17 games a year. Let me get this straight, because it was 14, it was 16, now 17. The NFL keeps upping it. But he only has to go out there 17 times a year. So he can be red hot every time they go out there. You can't do that in the NBA without A, burning yourself out, B, burning players out, and 3, destroying the franchise. So it's two different things. I don't think they can do that.
Well, it's very different. Two different situations, because you got so many games in the NBA, man. And I watched Dan Campbell cry in a press conference at game. What number was that? I think they were
3 or 4.
Right.
Yeah, it was early.
It was early, and Dan Campbell was in tears. And everybody wanted him fired. I don't want to hear these people talk that crap now about, oh, man, Dan Campbell's. No, you guys wanted him out. Fired. Right?
Yep.
They were like, he sucks. So now everybody's, oh, man, he's great. Dan Campbell's a player's coach. Yeah, he is now. No, I don't want everybody, I want people to remember what you guys were saying about Dan Campbell early on. Because nobody was really riding with him, with the kneecaps and biting chunks out of people and all that. They were making jokes, right? But now he's the guy, because he had time to, get his guys and kind of put his stamp on the team, and now it's working so far.
And to show you how different the leagues are, Doug Collins cried during a press conference or something. Players made fun of him. So look at this fool. Doug Collins, when he was coaching the Pistons, they're playing the Bulls, and he's throwing his hands up in there acting crazy. Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan are on the court making fun of him right in front of him. Just made fun of him. So this is this man here. What's wrong with him?
And people were hypercritical of Dan Campbell's in-game decisions, right?
Yes. He made a lot of mistakes.
Right. So, just because and every coach goes through things like that, but fans always get carried away in the beginning when the guy, something ain't going right, or teams, hey, get rid of him, we need a new coach, and but he's had time to prove himself, and now he's beloved, until they start struggling again. Right? So, but it's a big difference, man, and I love the direction the Lions are going in, because there's a lot of positive things going on with the Lions. But I tell you what, you let them start off like they started off last year, what's going to happen?
This is the biggest September in Lions history.
See what I mean?
Can't go 1-3, can't go 0-4. 2-2 might be shaky, but they can survive that.
Ooh, they can survive 2-2.
This time, Dan Campbell in September with the Lions is 1-7. Can't do that again. Not with expectations like this, because right now we feel good about the Lions. People here turn on you in a second. In a heartbeat.